All right, here we go. Betting Weekly Live here with you on a Wednesday. Of course, Betting Weekly Studios, part of the Bet Rivers Network. Mike Carver here with you, along with Doug Kezirian, as we get ready for all the action tonight. Huge night of NBA. We had opening night last night, but tonight is where we really dive into it. 12 games on the schedule. We've got some pucks tonight, a couple more midweek college football games, and several other things here on a Wednesday for Betting Weekly Live. Doug, good to see you. As always, my man, I know we're going to talk a lot of hoops here today. What a start, though, last night. That Houston-Oklahoma City game, getting the NBC portion, getting NBA back was great. You had the late-night Warriors-Lakers, which we took care of. All in all, a fun first night of the NBA.
Felt like a real opening night. Remember, typically it was always Christmas Day was the unofficial opening night, just because, so often actual opening night would get lost in the shuffle of football and World Series and everything going on. But I just love how they did it. I obviously spent 11 years at ESPN and always preferred content that was about the games, which was why I loved doing the betting stuff, because all the Jerry Springer stuff and all the gossip and the TMZ stuff was just nonsense. So to see a broadcast actually do it, talk X's and O's, talk about certain things, storylines that didn't involve drama and who unfollowed who on Instagram and other LeBron nonsense, it was refreshing. And so hopefully that's a sign of the things to come. But I also understand the masses do sometimes eat that up. But I prefer that. And it was a great production. It was good to get the round ball rock going.
Right out of the gate with Tesh and the round ball rock, getting us going on NBC. Fun night to go. But now, Doug, we turn our attention right away to tonight because it's Wednesday night and we have 12 games. Everyone else pretty much getting going, except I believe the Pacers and the Nuggets. They don't start till tomorrow night. They will play on Thursday. But we got a lot to get to, Doug, so let's roll right into it. We'll start in New York with the Cavs and the Knicks, who will play tonight. Cavs right now, at this second at Bet Rivers, -1.5, 228.5 is the total. So the interesting thing here, Doug, of course, is we know that the Knicks are not going to have Mitchell Robinson. They're not going to have Josh Hart. And then you also had this situation today where it looked like there was no Karl Anthony Towns. Now it looks like he's doubtful, back to questionable. Oh, he is going to play. He's going to be a game-time decision. It sounds like Cat's going to be out there, although I don't know how effective he's going to be considering all I've heard today, Doug.
It's a really strange situation. And obviously Mike Brown, a brand new coach, whereas Tibbs was very locked in. And Brown, I guess they have like no play calls. It's kind of loose. I mean, they have obviously offensive sets and everything. It's not like it's total randomness and chaos. But I have to play the Cavs here. I think there's a little bit of a Cleveland wants to undo what happened last year and get the bad taste out of its mouth. Remember, they got smoked by the Pacers in the second round. They were the 1 seed and, totally it looked like they'd be in control. Now they had some injuries here and there. I believe it was Mobley, but they're back. And let's not forget how good they are, how well coached they are with Kenny Atkinson. So I think the Knicks have too many moving parts. I'm on the Cavs here. I think it's a really strong play.
Yeah, I like the Cavs as well, especially because there's a lot of it, the injury concerns for the Knicks right out of the gate and the unknown with how Brown's going to be as the head coach are enough for me. And I know Brunson's great, Doug. Believe me, Brunson's unbelievable, and any night he can carry the Knicks.
And I like their bench better this year, too. They do have a nicer bench.
And, well, guess what? You're going to get to see it right out of the gate because not having all those guys, you get to really see tonight, Doug, how Brown's going to implement that new bench that the Knicks do have.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, I cut you off. I just wanted to say, like, there are some good things that could mean, but it's the unknown versus the known. And I'm going to take the known, especially when they were the 1 seed last year. And let's not forget, this Knicks team, weren't they 0-10 against anyone who finished with a 50-win season last year, right? They got swept in the regular season by the Thunder and then got swept by the Cavs and other teams. So I just like they took care of business against the Celtics in the postseason, even before the injury to Tatum. Like that was a 3-1 series because Tatum got hurt with like 2 minutes to go and that game was over. So give them all the credit in the world, but they also fired their coach and they don't have Josh Hart, who's a monster. I mean, the guy is like a 10+ rebound guy. So I just think too many moving parts here for me. I have to back the Cavs.
Yeah, I'm going to back the Cavs as well. As you see, we joined the conversation with the chat box here on Betting Weekly Live. Amish Farmer is in on the Cavs as well. Took the Cavs too. So let us know who you got this evening. Big slate in the NBA. Let's go to Boston next, where the Sixers and the Celtics will both open up their campaigns right now at Bet Rivers. Minus 4.5 for Boston, 229 flat, 229.5 at Bet Rivers. Obviously, a much different Boston team, Doug. We know that Tatum is not going to be there. They've traded away Porzingis. They don't have Horford anymore. Lots of changes. Embiid is going to be a full go for the Sixers. He looked good in the one little preseason action he had at the end of last week. Opening night for the Sixers and the Celtics.
Might have 100 threes in this game combined. I really think it's going to be up and down. Now, you did mention Embiid, but I just think we're going to see a back and forth game. Boston, you mentioned the new look, obviously so many new faces there. I don't think people realize like how much they're going to keep shooting because, yes, no Tatum and other pieces like Horford, but they actually added just more 3-point shooters like Sam Hauser. Now, he was a bench player last year, but he's going to get a lot of looks. Pritchard is now starting. That's all he's going to shoot. And then Anthony Simons is going to be chucking about 8-9 threes a game. So I just think this is a track meet. The Celtics want to outscore you. I'm splitting up a unit play, first half over and game over. I just think it's one of those things. Boston's second halves. Boston had a really slow pace last year in the second half. One of the best things, Boston would score 60 plus in the first half and then just pull in the oars in the second half. I think it's a different team. They're not going to have that script. But I just kind of want to break it up. I think game goes over, but I also think first half goes over.
I'm going to back Embiid here, Doug, tonight for two reasons. Number one, I think you're getting him at the healthiest, obviously, that he's going to be all year. It's opening night. He's got to be fresh. He looked at least in the last preseason game. You're getting him at 24.5 for the point total. And this Boston new look roster, I don't think they really got anybody who's going to be able to handle him down low on the inside. So I think that he's going to be able to get whatever he wants as long as he's out there. So 24.5 for Embiid tonight, Doug. I'm going to be going there.
I can get behind that. Obviously, when he plays, they're gonna want to make him a big sort of integral part of the offense and everything like that. And I doubt he's going to play unless he's 100% healthy. So I hope he stays healthy because obviously basketball's better with him healthy. It's just the long term. But for one game, I can certainly support wagers on him.
Absolutely. The Spurs and the Mavs open up tonight, 9:30 East tip in Dallas. Of course, the debut for Cooper Flagg. We get Wembanyama back in the mix. Mavericks minus 2.5, 223.5. The total at Bet Rivers. I got to tell you, Doug, I'm looking forward to watching Flagg. Obviously, unbelievable at Duke last year. You get these two guys, Wembanyama and Flagg, in the same game. It's going to be a fun game to watch.
I agree. I think the Spurs are a giant wild card, kind of like what I was saying about Wembanyama going into the season. I'll believe anything, right? I'll believe he dominates, wins MVP. I'll believe they go to the finals. I'll believe that they miss the playoffs. And then to your point, Cooper Flagg, similarly, I mean, even before he stepped foot at Cameron Indoor Stadium, he was tearing stuff up with the Team USA select team here in Vegas, actually. So this guy's elite, and it's one of those things where he's probably better on an NBA court in terms of like standing out than he does on college. Like he was great in college and obviously won Player of the Year, but he it kind of things can get congested and he can be the focal point of an opposing defense, whereas he probably just shines when a full NBA sort of game because others have to be guarded as well. He's really got a nice temperament and pace to him. He lets the game come to him. I wonder if they're going to use him at point guard. Defensively, he's really solid, but he kind of picks the spots appropriately on when to attack, and that's what I like about his game. So obviously the sky's the limit. Nico's an idiot, but got lucky with the lottery ping pong balls. And this is going to be an intriguing game. I think it could be like any which way of outcomes. Like I have no opinion here. The Mavs had that run with Luka, but these pieces all aren't there, and the Kyrie, and it's just, I have to see it. I have to kind of get a better feel for each team.
I'm with you in that aspect. I was looking at some of the Flagg stuff, just to have a little fun with Cooper Flagg at his debut. It's 16.5 is his points tonight. But honestly, Doug, like you said, there's a lot of unknowns with both of these teams that I think that this is probably one that you just want to sit back and watch. So as much as I want to fire away on Cooper Flagg his first time out there, I kind of want to see what his usage is going to be, what his role is going to be, a lot of the things that you were just bringing up.
It's okay to not have an opinion on moving parts, right? The books don't either, but they can get two-way action. We don't have the two-way action. We have one way. So just let the game come to you. I was really happy. Like, look, I nailed both picks last night. I lost the first half total, but I nailed. I started to thought the dog was live, and then I had the obviously the Warriors -3. It's okay. Like, just ease into this thing. It's a marathon, and yes, the lines are softer now. But if you don't have a firm opinion or even flags per player prop of 60.5, just let it come to you.
Take it in. Just drink it in. We got a lot of these. I mean, this is night one of 82 for all of these NBA teams. That's for sure. Also at Bet Rivers tonight, you can capture the flag. That's right. One of the specials at Bet Rivers, Cooper flag to record at least 30 combined points, rebounds, and assists in the Mavs versus Spurs game, boosted from plus 143 to plus 170. So go on the Bet Rivers app for full details. Capture the flag with Cooper tonight. So those are some of the other. Let's get into a few of these other ones now, Doug. And we'll start with this one because you mentioned it last week. And that is the Clippers opening up against Utah tonight. That is a just after 9 o'clock East tip in Salt Lake. Right now at Bet Rivers, minus 9.5 for the Clips with the flat 226, up a half from earlier.
I have to play the Clippers. I mentioned it a couple days ago, even Friday show, I believe. I think the Clippers, look, they're the oldest team in the history of the NBA, 33.2 years, but they have basically two units. Like they can go like 10 deep. So they're not going to log a lot of minutes. They look great. I think they're going to be motivated with all the offseason salary cap circumvention, Steve Ballmer issues. And the Jazz are not good. Like, we know that. They have a win total of 18.5. Obviously, Markkanen's good. Kessler's good. But they don't have some of the players that were key last year when they were at full strength, like Colin Sexton, and then the John Collins is what I was thinking of. So they got a lot of guys who are going to figure it out. Like Bailey's going to have to figure it out. Cody Williams, who's J-Dub's brother, he's still not reached his potential, obviously. So I just think the Clippers end up boat racing him, especially that second unit.
The Pistons are in Chicago tonight against the Bulls. Pistons road favorite -3, 237 flat for the total. No Kobe White for the Bulls here on opening night. We talked about the Pistons a little bit when we were doing some futures the other day and where they could be in this Eastern Conference. I like them a lot, Doug, and I think I like them even tonight here in Chicago to start things off.
And that's where I am. I really liked their pieces that they added. Now, still no Jaden Ivey, which is a bummer because he's uber athletic and was one of their top picks in recent years. But Duncan Robinson's a nice addition. He's going to space the court for Cade Cunningham. And Jalen Duren's been a force. Isaiah Stewart's a nice backup center. Holland played well last year at times. Don't love Tobias Harris, but he's fine. I mean, he is an NBA starter. And then Amin Thompson's brother. The key here is Kobe White being out. I mean, that guy can go off for 35 points. Now, Giddey was really good last year, but Tellus as well. And they have a nice nucleus. And I think the Bulls over 32.5 wins is a really good bet. With that being said, I think the Pistons are the right side. Like, the Pistons are an actual contender here in the East, and the Bulls are a contender to just not to like get the 6th seed and avoid the play-in. Like, that's their ceiling. So I think without Kobe White, you have to play this game.
The T-Wolves late night on the West Coast in Portland against the Blazers, -4.5 for Minnesota, 221.5 is the total. I kind of like the Timberwolves a little bit tonight, Doug, but I know that you like something with a player prop in this one.
Yeah, I'm looking at Dante DiVincenzo. Last year he was new, and he was in a distributor role off the bench at times when certain guys were out, Mike Conley specifically. So DiVincenzo is actually going to start right now. And his prop of assists is really, I mean, he will pass a lot. Now, there is the Ant component where he just goes one-on-one and things like that. But DiVincenzo, over 3.5 assists or 4+ assists, -150 range, I think is a banger. This should be like 5.5. So I would ladder it up. I would take over 5.5. I think if you can get like 35-1 on a double-double, I think it's worth playing. This is a guy who is a willing passer, and with guys around him that want to shoot. I mean, they have all those that length, those guys that can shoot. I think he could get this by halftime. I think this is a bad line now that he's going to be a starting point guard for Minnesota.
Ladder it up. I love it, Doug. 6 assists at Bet Rivers for DiVincenzo, plus 230. If
There
you
you
want
go.
to keep climbing that ladder, we always love to do that. A couple other games tonight, and then I want to circle back on a few things not happening tonight with you first. For me, Doug, Raptors and Hawks in Atlanta, -5.5 for the Hawks. 236.5 is the total. It's the highest total on the board tonight, Doug, and for good reason. That is because we are going to get POINTS, points tonight. These Hawk games are probably going to be good ones to target. And I like the Raptors, I told you last week, especially when everybody's healthy. I think they're going to be able to run up and down and score too. I'm going over, Doug, 236.5, Toronto and Atlanta.
I'm not going to play a lot of unders involving these two teams. Remember, the Raptors were banged up a lot last year, but they now have Brandon Ingram alongside Scotty Barnes. I think that's a really high ceiling, and they have a bunch of guys who can gun it. I like their coach a lot. He's a very intense guy. He doesn't mess around. Quinn Snyder wants to get in the track meet with Porzingis and Trae Young. There's going to be a lot of points with Atlanta games. It's a big number, but I would say I would agree with you with the over.
And the other one for me, and look, I know I'm taking Brooklyn for the year with that over in the terms of their win total. There's not going to be a lot of nights, Doug. I'll be taking them, but they're getting 5.5 in Charlotte. 228.5 is the total. I actually like Michael Porter Jr. tonight with the threes, over 2.5 at Bet Rivers for him. He's now the guy, right? I mean, he's really the main source. Cam Thomas is obviously going to fill it up too, but Porter shot a lot of threes in Denver. And he's really got no one competing with him here in Brooklyn. I think he's going to be bombs away from behind the arc. You're going to get a lot of volume and a lot of opportunities for him to get over 2.5.
Well, if he shoots as often as he talked this summer, you should hit this with ease because it's a new Michael Porter. He's just running his mouth all summer. I think he's going to be an absolute gunner. I'm surprised that prop is as low as it is. I think that's a winner, maybe even in the first quarter. Seriously.
Yeah, let's go. Tee it high and let it fly. A couple others. Heater in Orlando against the Magic tonight. Magic -8.5. So new look Heat, you could say. What other ones? Pelicans and Grizzlies tonight. -4.5 for the Grizz. The Bucks are laying 10 against the Wizards. And the Kings and the Suns, Doug. That's the other one we didn't mention. That's a 10 o'clock East tip in Phoenix. -4 for the Suns with a 230. I know neither of us are very high on Sacramento coming into this year.
Why are the Phoenix Suns laying that many points? Don't they stink? I mean, I know they have Booker, but they have a lot of moving parts. They're in rebuild mode. They need to sort of blow up the salary cap and everything. I like Malawak a lot, actually, but Kings are garbage too. And Sabonis is starting the year hurt. I know that, but
Right.
yeah, I want no part of that game because I don't want to watch it.
All right. Two things off of tonight, Doug, before we move on. Number one, tomorrow night, we get a rematch of the NBA Finals. It'll be the first game for the Pacers as they will take on Oklahoma City in Indiana. Of course, Thunder -8, 229 flat. We'll discuss it more tomorrow, Doug, but this one caught your eye a day early.
I'd grab this number. I made this number 5.5 tops. This number is a monster. So we know OKC just played double overtime. I'm assuming J-Dub's still out. Okay. And Caruso's in concussion protocol. This is a giant spot for the Pacers. I mean, I expect the Pacers to be up 10 after one. Obviously, payback for the NBA Finals. And yes, no Tyrese Halliburton. And they lost Miles Turner. But, man, they got an elite coach. And they're going to be hungry like no other. They're going to remember, Thunder got smoked in 3 of those 7 games last year. And I believe game 6, Halliburton didn't play and they got blown out in Indy. I love the Pacers +8.5. I think they went outright. I would do first quarter money line. I would do first half money line. OKC's got the marathon approach here. They're not going to care nearly as much as Indiana is. Home opener, season opener, Pacers revenge. I mean, we know it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't take away the rings of the Thunder, but they want payback, and I think this is an absolute banger.
Yeah, should be a fun one tomorrow night with those two. We'll discuss more tomorrow on Betting Weekly Live. And one more time around for the Lakers, who did already play. They already got a loss on the board. But, Doug, I don't disagree with you here, continuing to try to hammer this home, this Laker under win total.
And you talked about it. They talked about after the game. Uya Chamura and DeAndre Ayton said, like, hey, we haven't really played together much. We don't know each other. So by the time they get in the groove, then LeBron's going to come, and then they're going to need to adjust accordingly as well. Under 46.5 to play, Luka tweaked his hammy or groin. He practiced today. JJ Redick downplayed it. My gut tells me he sits Friday. Now, they got Minnesota. They're at home. They'd probably be like 4-point favorites, 3.5 or something like that. If Luka's out, they'll be underdogs, right? So I think this number I would have made after last night and Luka, I would have made this 42.5. So I think this is a stupid line. You have to bet it. And again, when these guys come back, you're not guaranteed they're going to stay healthy the rest of the year. So when LeBron comes back, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but Draymond Green was talking about sciatica, the injury. You just got to manage it. I mean, Terrence Mann had it last year. He's younger. It's not necessarily an age thing, but it's a nervish. You just don't know when it heals. Not like a bone where you have an exact timeline that's pretty accurate. And then who knows? LeBron could have turf toe in January and whatever. Luka played a bunch of defense last night, and look what happened. He hurt his groin. He went too hard last night. So I think he's going to baby it. They got issues. Now the Warriors are awesome. Okay. And, they're 28-8 with their big three intact, the new big three, the Butler big three. And that's including last year in the playoffs. But I just think the Lakers have too many moving parts. I think they stink third quarters, like they talked about in postgame. I think under 46.5 is a very good play.
A lot of great NBA action tonight. Bet Rivers does have you covered. NBA Wednesday primetime second chance SGP. Log in to your Bet Rivers account each Wednesday to receive a second chance SGP token. Got to have three plus legs, minimum final odds of plus 300 or more. Valid to use on either of the primetime NBA games that day. Primetime game will be broadcast on ESPN. Of course, it will be specified on the promotion. And of course, for tonight's sake of those games, that is Knicks Cavs on ESPN and Spurs Mavericks as the second game. So there you go. At Bet Rivers, NBA Wednesday primetime second chance SGP. Giannis triple-double coming out from the chat box, Doug. Did you see that? Giannis going off on night number one?
I do. I think 335, I'm going to need a little bit better odds, but I think the Bucks could be a sneaky good team to back with all this sort of tension with Giannis looking down the road and maybe elsewhere. Look, they did the stretch thing for Dame's salary in order to get Miles Turner. They're going to have Porter run point, which is interesting, but they have shooters. They have Derry Bird, right? Mm-hmm. And then they also have Gary Trent Jr. So I think they're going to be bombs away, and I think they're going to be a good bully team. So when they're facing the Wiz, I think they can bully the heck out of them. I think they probably cover it, but I just can't bet it because I think the Wizards are a little frisky. 227.5 feels low because they're not going to play much defense at all. And Giannis is an absolute beast, and he's going to be a wrecking ball early and often. Remember, look at these guys that came over who played in Europe for some of those tournaments. I mean, Sengun went off, right? Yep. 5 threes in the monster game. Luka went off. They're in midseason form, so I think Giannis is going to go off as well.
I needed some extra time last night, Doug, but I did get Sengun over those boards. I needed a couple of extra periods in order to do it. But the assists were there. The assists had no problem with Sengun last night as he was filling up that column. All right, NBA, huge night, 12 games. Got you covered here on Betting Weekly Live. We got pucks tonight as well. That's right. Only 3 games in the NHL this evening. We'll start with the Red Wings in Buffalo against the Sabers. That is the nationally televised game. Sabers, now this is another one of these riddle me this, Doug. Sabers are a slight favorite at home here, minus 114. The Red Wings are minus 109. The Red Wings have won 5 in a row after losing on opening night. They're 5-1 this year. The total's a flat 6. I love this over tonight between these two because, Doug, you've got a couple things at play. Buffalo is starting Colton Ellis in goal tonight. Who's Colton Ellis? Well, he's making his NHL debut. Alex Leon started the first 6 games for Buffalo. They're giving this kid Ellis a chance tonight. It's his first game out there. Detroit is going with their, guess you could say Detroit's really a split with Talbot and John Gibson, but Gibson has not been as good as Talbot so far, despite their 5-1 start, and he's starting. So I really like the over a lot tonight with Buffalo and Detroit, Doug. That line is really, really I can't figure that out because the Sabres shouldn't be favored really over anybody.
I mean, look, listening to you, doing my own work and talking to others. I'm not the biggest hockey guy, but I can ask educated questions. Are the Sabres, how bad are they? You've mentioned it. I mean, at their home, obviously, and it's not like the Red Wings are the best team in the league either, but this feels like a Detroit cider pass.
It really does. Look, here's the thing with the Sabres. They have pieces. They have some guys. Tage Thompson's a really good player. Alex Tuck is a guy you want on your team. He was huge for the Knights back in the day. They've got Dahlin and Power on the back end who are really good players. I think that's two things for me, Doug, with the Sabres. They have been so poorly managed and mismanaged over the last 15 years, and they've never had a goalie. They always have a problem putting a goalie in between the pipes. And those are the two things that just destroy them. They had that long losing streak last year because nobody could stop a beach ball. So that's the problem with it. Detroit's coming in hot. I think for a side, it's Detroit or pass, but I'm going to try go after that total this evening.
I can see where you're coming from. I can see where you're coming from. Over's probably the best way to play it. I think Sabres will be like not inspired is the word I was looking for. We'll play inspired hockey. I mean, everybody at home wants to take care of business.
It's like sometimes, and you know this in all these sports, sometimes you see these lines and you go, what am I not seeing here? I think with hockey last week, we mentioned this. I thought that Edmonton line in Long Island against the Islanders was a little too short. And what happened that night? The Islanders beat Edmonton. It's just sometimes you look at it and you go, what am I missing?
But last night the Kraken got smoked. It was 3-0 before I could blink. By the way, they're 0-13 in the second game of a back-to-back.
0-13. The Kraken.
12 of those losses by 2 or more
with the puck line. With the puck line in it. They have been awful in those situations. That's for sure. So Red Wings and Buffalo tonight. Minnesota and the Devils. The Devils they're playing really good hockey right now. Minus 132 for them tonight at Bet Rivers, plus 106 for Minnesota. Devils' second night of a back-to-back. Won in Toronto last night, got the over. Now they come home with a flat 6. I think the Devils win, Doug, but I kind of like the under tonight. Last game of a 5-game road trip for Minnesota. They got home on their eyes. Devils' second night of a back-to-back. Think Devils win, but more of like a 4-1 Devils win. 3-2 Devils win, somewhere in that area. We're going to stay under the 6.
Is that road trip angle, the 5 games, is that something that you bet on obviously or often? Is that a thing that's been well tracked?
Going on the last part of a very long trip, for me, it's either you're playing against that team or you're playing the under. I think teams could be a little sleepy in those spots. They're ready to go home. You don't get as much juice out of them as you would say at the beginning part of a road trip. So that's why you see a team go on a 4 or 5 game roadie. And it's not Minnesota to the East Coast. It's not like it's LA going east, but still they're gone for a long time. 5 games in 5 cities over a week and a half span is still a tough trip. And I think that they're ready to go home. So we're going to go under, Doug.
I can get behind that. And it's also the first game home too, is also one that you got to kind of look out for, right?
Yep. When they bounce back, when we see the Wild pop back up, I believe Friday night or whenever that is that they're going to be home, we'll go and take a look at them there. Montreal has been playing really good hockey too. They're in Calgary tonight against the Flames, and the Flames have been, Doug, horrible so far this year. 1-6 for the Calgary Flames. They've blown leads in a bunch of these games. The Canadiens come in at 5-2, playing really good hockey, and they're starting the kid tonight. In goal, the Czechoslovakian kid Dobes, who's gotten off to a really good start. He's 3-0 with a 1-6. This kid that's playing goal for the Canadiens. So they've had a little bit of a kind of a goalie, not controversy, but Montembeault was so good for them last year. This kid Dobes has come in and played really well, like Montreal a little bit here tonight in Calgary.
Interesting. I can get behind it. Again. This is your lane. I support you, but that is interesting. Okay. I mean, these are coin flip games based on the odds. I love it.
Yep. Coin flip games with a couple of these. The Flames, it's hard, Doug. Like they're 1-6. So you'd think on the Flames side also, maybe there's a little bit of, I want to say desperation in October. That's tough to say, but when you start 1-6, you got to step up at some point, or maybe they just stink. The Calgary Flames. They've gotten some really bad goaltending here over the first 7 games, and that's never going to go good for you. We do have college football tonight, Doug. How about that? We got a little bit more midweek action for us. Last night was fun, or about as fun as it could be with FIU and Kennesaw State. Good for you. Good job with Kennesaw State last night, Doug. And of course, just like overtime giveth for me with Shengun, overtime tooketh away with the under in the Western Kentucky Louisiana Tech game. Just unfortunate.
Louisiana Tech coach, very interesting clock management at the end of the game, spiking it on second down when he still had a timeout, settled for like a 55-yard. I mean, just a moronic move. But look, if NFL coaches can't even figure out, how can we expect these small conference college coaches to figure it out?
You really cannot expect that. Tonight, we got two more games, as I mentioned. We'll start with Middle Tennessee, who's in Delaware to take on the Fighting Blue Hens. -9 at Bet Rivers for Delaware, and a big 56 for the total just after 7:30 East.
Yeah, these games are tough. I think Delaware's really outperformed a lot this year, but Middle Tennessee's playing a lot better of late. This number feels too high. We got away with the favorite yesterday in a rocking chair win for the most part. Although, by the way, they were down 14 with 9 minutes to go and kicked a field goal from like inside the 10. So stupid. So they made a two-score game a two-score game. It's Middle Tennessee or pass. I have no official plays in college football tonight. These are tough games, and we'll get into the next one next. But it's just a lean for me with the Raiders here. I just think they're playing better of late, and they're going to give Delaware a little bit difficult of a time. And I worry about the back door and so I like it, but then they can also certainly lose by double digits.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you with like a little bit of a different side to it. I really don't want anything to do with it tonight with Middle Tennessee and Delaware. I kind of was leaning to Delaware just because I feel like their offense is so much better than Middle Tennessee's. And that would be like the kind of one thing that leans me to that side. But 9.5 is a 9 flat. 9 is a lot of gas for Delaware to cover, even at home against Middle Tennessee. So probably nothing there for me either tonight, Doug. The other game, Missouri State makes the trip to New Mexico State tonight. Missouri State -1. 51 flat now is the total at Bet Rivers.
So New Mexico State's, I go back and forth because they were like in a 3-point game with New Mexico in a rivalry game. We know New Mexico's pretty decent. And then they get boat race in the second half. So now I don't know what to think of them. And it's not like the Bears are any good. Again, there's no edge. Like I liked Kennesaw yesterday. They were off a disappointing loss. I thought it was a good spot to back them. But I mean, I can't get involved here. There's just nothing here for me.
It's tough. Like I kind of like the under a little bit in this game. You know, neither offense is that great. And New Mexico has scored a couple points the last few weeks, so that kind of gives me a little bit of a backing off of it. But 51, that's a lot of gas for both of these teams, Missouri State and New Mexico State tonight. So that's a little bit of an under maybe for me this evening in that one. Kind of like the home team, but a touch windy in Delaware, Michael Corleone said. Delaware is a passing team. That quarterback runs a lot too, though, on Delaware. He likes to run around that court. He got a lot. I mean, it's a little more inside. Maybe he gets a lot of rushing touchdowns from close in, but it is a little breezy here, Doug, in the East for the Fighting Blue Hens. Could be a problem for them.
Can it be a problem for the team they're playing too? Look, I get it. I know they're a passing team, but these midweek games, you got to have a really good angle. I think they get out of hand. Delaware is, I believe, off a bye, so they have a little bit extra prep time. I do worry about the chalk in this midweek games. We saw that last week. I think there were 5 games, and the underdogs were barking in 4 of them, won a couple of them outright. I lean Delaware, but I can't get involved.
Lean Delaware, can't get involved. That's kind of where I would be as well. So there you go, college football. And then tomorrow night, we've got, I believe, one game tomorrow. South Alabama and Georgia State for Thursday night. Only one game there, of course, to go along with the NFL game, which will be the Chargers and the Vikings that we will have. We'll do a lot more NFL tomorrow, Doug, and we've already seen a lot of injury stuff. I'll throw this in before we get to best bets and get out of here. A lot of injury stuff with the NFL today. Lamar practiced, but didn't look like he did much. We know Daniels isn't going to play Monday night. Aaron Glenn refuses to tell you who's going to play quarterback for the Jets, thinking that it's a competitive disadvantage. Lots of NFL injury news on a Wednesday, as there usually is.
That Ravens line seems high. You have to think the people that know and move the market that Lamar would be playing, but I can't lay 6.5. I mean, I think it's a get right spot for the Ravens. I still wouldn't put them in a teaser or anything like that. This team, I mean, shockingly, the odds are there where they actually might win the division, but I do think it's worth the flyer for the long-term odds of Baltimore in terms of to win the conference, something like that, because if they do rally and win this division and get back in it, they're going to be power rated pretty high. So there's an angle and a conversation to be had about that. Like, it is attractive in that regard. You mentioned Monday night. Look, this is something that's really important, whether it's basketball, but football, especially with quarterbacks, it's really applicable. When a guy comes in mid-game, like Mariota, he's going to look bad. Okay. Now, he is the same type of quarterback that Daniels is, so he's familiar with the offense and it's tailored around some of his strengths. He's just not as strong in those strengths as Daniels is. But the quarterbacks always look better after a full week of practice and getting the reps. So, yes, Mariota did not look great, and he threw the pick six in the third quarter and whatnot. But now they're going to have a playbook for him. They're going to call play, and everything's going to be a full week of practice. So it's just not going to be a shock to his system. So he's going to look smoother. And I'm not saying take the points because they're playing the Chiefs, but just remember that with those injuries, he's going to look a lot better with a full week of practice, knowing he's going to play instead of being thrust into it mid game.
Yeah, and that is going to be a lot of points on Monday night for the Commanders in Kansas City against the Chiefs. And I'm going to throw one more thing out there, Doug. And Max is getting upset because I forgot that I was going to do this today. But it is Wednesday, Doug, and there is golf tomorrow teeing off. The Bank of Utah Championship at the Black Desert Resort out there. So the PGA Tour is back. Fall swing is moving here. And I do got a couple for you with the outrights. I am going to play Rico, don't call me Richard Hoey, at 22-1. At Bet Rivers, Luke Clanton at 50-1, and Mark put the Hubbard in the cupboard at 80-1 as a little bit of a bomb. So I do like three guys at the Bank of Utah Championship teeing off in the morning, Doug. I always got to try to throw the golf in, Doug. I'm sorry. I mean,
that's what this show's for, right? We're not a golf specific show, but you talk about bets on Wednesday. That should absolutely be on the document. Shame on you for not putting it in the document.
I
don't throw the producer under the
nope,
bus.
Nope, it's not. I didn't. I said Max is going to get upset at me because I'm doing this right now and I forgot to put it in. But yes, Bank of Utah teeing off. Rico Hoey, Luke Clanton, and Mark Hubbard are three guys. We don't go as crazy during the fall swing season, but we want to have a little fun watching the golf over the next 4 days. So those are the guys for me. All right, best bets, Doug, for tonight here on Betting Weekly Live. Actually, before I give you the best bets, see, I'm never done. It's been a tremendous week of Champions League handicapping, of course, on the morning edition of Betting Weekly Live. So make sure you tune in tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. Steve Wiss and James Eastham previewing all the Europa action on Thursday. That's Betting Weekly Live, 11 a.m. Eastern, tomorrow morning, here on the Betting Weekly Studios YouTube channel. Of course, Bet Rivers Network, Europa tomorrow. They've done a tremendous job with the Champions League over the last couple of days. All right, best bets tonight. For me, Doug, I really like the Embiid over 24.5. I don't think that there's a lot of guys on the Celtics who are going to slow him down. You mentioned it could be a little bit of a track meet as it is. Maybe a lot of trips to the free throw line for Embiid tonight as well. 24.5 over for me, and I love that over in the Buffalo-Detroit game on the ice.
All right, look, you went 2-0 in best bets yesterday. I went 1-0, so you deserve two picks. I'm going to go two. I'm going to take a page out of your book and go two as well. I'm going to start with the Clippers. I've been talking about it for several days. I think they win by double digits. The key is that second unit, and they want to start strong this year, and I don't think they'll look past their opponent. I think they'll be excited to play bully ball a little bit. So I think they cover that. I'm going to go back to this DiVincenzo prop, 4+ assists. I don't think the market's adjusted that he's going to be a point guard. A lot of times with these numbers, as you guys know, they use stats from the previous year. Well, certain games, he got like 2 assists or 1 assist because he was coming off the bench and Mike Conley played. When he didn't play, he got like 6 or 7 assists. So in this case, the market's just off in my eyes. 4 assists isn't a lot for a starting point guard, right? We saw Amin Thompson be sort of the ball handler and facilitator, and he didn't even have sort of the title of point guard like DiVincenzo does. I think this is a bad number.
There you go. Little DiVincenzo tonight. I'll be with you on that, Doug. I will go with you on DiVincenzo later tonight in Portland with the Blazers in town. All right. Great job, as always, Doug, by you and everybody else. Betting Weekly Live here on a Wednesday. We will be back tomorrow. As I mentioned, Chargers and Vikings Thursday night as NFL moves on to Week 8. We do have a college football game and NBA. You know, you've got the Pacers and the Thunder tomorrow night. I know the Nuggets get going tomorrow night as well. They're the other team that hasn't played yet, Doug. So we'll finally see the Joker tomorrow night when they are in Golden State against the Warriors, and a full night on the ice as well. Mike Carver, Doug Kezirian, Betting Weekly Live, Betting Weekly Studios, part of the Bet Rivers Network. Have a great night, and we will see you right back here tomorrow.